I'm going to test using the new RICOH THETA X camera with the Zillow mobile application. I received a comment from Wes Mann asking if the new THETA X camera worked with the Zillow 3D Home Tour app. Since I didn't know the answer, I decided to research it, and I sent an email to the Zillow group through their normal support channel. Evelyn R. responded that the Zillow 3D Home app does work with the RICOH THETA V SC2 Z1, the Z1 51GB model, the newer one, and the THETA X. There's also some interesting information that the home tour on the average with the RICOH THETA cameras takes about 10 to 15 minutes. But however, if you use an iPhone, it will take an hour. So this is a fair bit of time saving for the realtor. This was just unsolicited from the Zillow group when I sent a generic email to their normal support. In addition to the time that's taken to make the tour at the home, the process of uploading the images to the Zillow site is also much faster, because if you take the image with an iPhone or an Android phone, the file size is going to be much larger for every tour that you take. This is a typical business workflow that's used by most industries. I was surprised at how thorough and how rapid the response was from the Zillow group. So I wasn't affiliated with Reco. I just said I was just a normal person, just asking a generic question about the camera support, and I got quite a detailed response with several sample tours from the RICOH THETA cameras, as well as detailed information and overview for each of the cameras. So they have a specific page for using the RICOH THETA camera line with sample tours you can just try out, and it lists the THETA X with links to the actual camera on the Reco site. The Zillow site also has detailed step-by-step tutorials on how to use the RICOH THETA camera in different scenarios of the tour creation process. And it's very extensive. It's specific to the RICOH THETA cameras as well too. She also sent me a list of tours that were actually made with the different models. So let's check out the RICOH THETA Z1 example tours first. Imagine this is using HDR with auto settings. It doesn't say, I think, but just looking at the picture, that's what I think it is. I don't think it's using DNG. I also think that due to it looks like it's incandescent lighting here, that the white balance actually could be improved by, so if you were to use it yourself, you might just want to adjust the white balance, in my opinion. Looks like the incandescent lighting is giving a yellow tinge. I think this tour is good, but also think you could make it a little better by adjusting some of the basic settings of the camera. Let's check out another one. So the Z1. So it's likely using HDR. So 2-floor house. I mean, you can definitely see everything. Okay, let's check out the SC2. Probably using HDR again. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's a 2-floor house. Bedroom's empty. The second tour with the SC2 looks pretty good. The Z1 won't have this red dot. You could actually edit this out very easily with healing. It's like a photo editor. Let's compare it to the Z1 again. You can tell that this one's, actually, if you zoom in, it does look considerably better than the SC2 actually. So I think there's benefiting from the great natural lighting of this shot, although it does look like it's using HDR as well. Wow, this one's good. I think because it's not using as much of the incandescent lighting, the coloration of this house, right, it's using natural lighting. The default values of the camera will produce better color. You can see the HDR because the fan is probably rotating, right? And so it combines several shots into a single shot to get the correct light values. Oh, this one has a basement, probably different lighting. But it still looks pretty good. It's another shot with a Z1. Kind of yellow. Should do white balance. But the detail looks fantastic, right? Oh, that's a nice home gym. I decided to test the application on a Google Pixel 4a. This is a physical device. I'm using Visor to display the screen onto the video so you guys can see it. I searched for the Zillow 3D home app and installed it. Also signed up for a free account on Zillow to test out the tour. I didn't encounter any problems during the installation process, and I simply disconnected my Google account to the remote site and everything worked. Even without knowing that I'm using a RICOH THETA camera, the app did say right at the top that it works with SC2, V, Z1, and the RICOH THETA X. I'm using a 360 camera here. And I decided to expose the location that I'm taking the pictures from since I'm at the office here. Didn't find the location, but I could add it in manually. I selected that I would be using a 360 camera. I also selected add home address later at the bottom. The application then presented me with a nice little wizard here. I'm actually in an office building, but I'll select apartment just for this test, and I'll simulate using some of the common spaces of the apartment complex here. So I'll just take the front of my office. After that brief setup, you can select the floor. I'll just do one of the floors of my office. I'll select a new area here, and then I'll turn on the camera and we'll be good to go. I'm gonna do some test shots with a RICOH THETA X. I'll be using 5.5K, not the 11K images, although you might want to use the 11K images. This is a quick test. I just used the 5.5K. I also have a Momon TR1 base and 200 gram weights. So each of the round things is 200 grams. I recommend using weights on the base so that it makes it more stable. We're going to be walking around with this monopod that's screwed on top of the Momon TR1 base and put the RICOH THETA X on top of it. The bottom of the base is a 3/8 inch attachment. The top is 1/4 inch by 20 thread per inch, and the RICOH THETA X will slip right on. After attaching the RICOH THETA X on top of the monopod, I bust out my Pixel 4a running Android 12 and the official Zillow application. It immediately will connect to the camera using Wi-Fi. I can take the picture. It gives you enough time to walk away and hide behind one of the structures in the real estate site that you are shooting. This process is very familiar and very comfortable. As I'm using HDR to take the shots, I strongly recommend that you do use a monopod and a base. The interface of the Zillow application is quite nice. It shows a nice big full screen image of the live preview of the RICOH THETA X with no problem. No glitches. You can set up the shot right there. It also has very nice features to set the default orientation of the shot in the actual virtual tour. So this is quite a professional app here. Here's a close-up of the official Zillow application on the left-hand side that's running on a physical device Pixel 4a. I'm mirroring the screen to the video so you can see it. And this is actually a live stream that you can view and set up before you take the shot. Then when you take the shot, you can just set the default view here and take the camera and then get out the scene. Stay in the scene for this particular test. After you take the shot, you can assign it to the specific room in the home that or building that you're trying to sell. After you select the room, the image is transferred from the RICOH THETA X camera over to your local mobile device. So right now it's being transferred from the camera to my mobile phone, and then it gets pushed up onto the Zillow cloud automatically. So those two steps appear to be combined, at least in the user interface, such that it downloads it and then it pushes it up to the cloud. I didn't test if it could push it up with mobile data. I do have mobile data engaged, but these files are pretty big. So what actually happened in actual practice is as soon as I disconnected from the camera, the image got pushed up automatically. I didn't need to take an additional step. After you take all the shots, it automatically gets uploaded to the Zillow cloud, and you can view it either in the mobile app locally or from a web browser in the cloud. Actually, I'm not sure if these images are local or whether it's actually viewing it from the Zillow cloud even on the mobile app. And despite having no prior experience with the Zillow either cloud or mobile app, in about 30 minutes I was able to get up a virtual tour. And I think that, if I spent another half an hour on it trying to learn the interface, it'd be better and better. This is quite a professional and slick way to make virtual tours, and I recommend that you give it a shot. I also had no problems at all using the Zillow application with the RICOH THETA X. I'm running firmware at 1.20 on the THETA X. Version 1.20 of the RICOH THETA X firmware was released on July 20th, 2022. On the OS side, I am running Android 12 on a Google Pixel 4a physical device. During the test, there was absolutely no dropped connections and no problems with the connection between the RICOH THETA X camera and the Zillow application. Also, my experience with the Zillow technical support just coming in through the public support channel, it was a grade A outfit, so I suggest that you give it a shot and see whether you like this type of interface or not. Dot Guide focuses on helping businesses build the most efficient and best user experience with the RICOH THETA cameras. In my opinion, Zillow has built a top-notch workflow, and I encourage you to take a look at it. You can also build your own workflow with your own custom mobile apps with the open APIs of the RICOH THETA. Check out starter.theta360.guide for more information.